What does the word redefine mean? First of all, before I get to that, I'm speaking on this because I feel that this is a power word for a lot of us right now. Redefine. Okay. All of the stuff that we have given meaning to, it's important that we sift through it, that we question our beliefs, that we question the words we're using, that we question our goals, not from a place of doubt, not from a place of nitpickery and self sabotage, but to really be as honest and authentic as we possibly can be. So this way we create authentic, honest, and good results for ourselves. Okay. So I feel like going into this Virgo season, as we approach the fall, we just celebrated the first of 3 harvest seasons, right? And the beginning of August. And I feel like this is a good time to start contemplating like what we are harvesting, what we are creating, what we keep producing, and if that is what we want to keep producing, right? So, redefine was the word that popped up for me, and I felt that it was for the collective as well. And it makes sense. It does. It makes sense with a lot of the things that have been shown to us just this year alone. From the beginning of the year up until this point, we really have been given a multitude of opportunities to sit back and rethink what we believe, what our intentions are, what kind of world we want for ourselves and our children and their children, and so much more. So redefine really feels like a powerful word right now for us. But what does it mean? To redefine means to give a new meaning to a word, idea, or rule, or make people think about something in a new way. It means changing the limits or the core shape of a concept. Okay? So I bring this to you to ask you to look at the very things in your life that you want to change, that you feel are stuck, that you feel are stagnant, that you feel are problematic. And I want you to get to the core of the desire in those areas of your life. What do you want in these areas that doesn't seem to be moving? Because it's not moving because you keep doing the same things over and over again based on an old definition, an old program, an old idea. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, and we all know what that is, right? Insanity. Okay, so, but there's still a core need, even in the things that feel stuck, correct? So, if let's say, we'll use a very easy to understand example. So, like, let's say you're in a relationship that just does not feel like it's going anywhere, but you keep trying the things you've always tried, you keep working hard at it, you keep chipping away at it, you keep trying, right? What is it you want out of that? What do you want out of that relationship? Do you want love? Let's just go with that one, right? Love is very powerful. Well, then that means you have to redefine love, because chances are the habits you are feeding into in this relationship or friendship or whatever it is that feels stuck, right, are based on old ideas of what that meant. Old conditions, old programs, old belief systems, things like that, that are not working with the authenticity of who you are at your core. That authenticity might have been silenced through those beliefs and actions and habits and routines that were pounded into your skull. And you've been trying to make them work, and they're just not working because they don't work. They don't work for the vision that you have. They don't work for, in harmony with the honesty of your heart. So that's why everything feels stuck. That's why everything feels knotted and tangled and chaotic, or, unmoving, and just, you fill in the blank. It just doesn't feel right, right? So you have to redefine what that means for you, whatever that area of your life that you're trying to make work. What does that mean for you now? If your finances feel stuck, well, you have to review the habits that got you there, because they're based on some kind of old definition of what it means to work, or what it means to earn money, or what money means in general, or finances, or wealth, or whatever. And you have to redefine it for yourself. And then you have to create actions that are different from what you've been doing. Because you can't just stop at the redefining and be like, oh, that feels good. Like, okay, that's great. But what are you going to do with it now? Because you put so much effort and time into the old beliefs. Now you need to recharge that energy and put it towards affirmative action and habits that grow you instead of wither you and tangle you and depress you. You want to put your efforts now towards habits that express you and the life you really want to build and the person you really want to be. Okay? So, a good exercise for this to help you start, if you'd like to give it a shot, is write down all your limiting beliefs right now. Or just start with one. I don't want to overwhelm any of y'all. Please don't get overwhelmed. Okay? You can do this at whatever pace you need to, as long as you're just doing the work. Do the work. Okay? You've put all the work and the energy into what doesn't work, so that means you can do the opposite. Okay? It's just going to feel different, and it's going to be outside the norm, right, of what you've done. And that part can be scary and uncomfortable. But why be familiar with what's fatal to your soul and your well-being? Why do that? Don't do that. Don't kill your soul. Don't kill your spirit. You can do this, all right? So you can either write down a current limiting belief, or you can write down a list of them. All right. What is your limiting belief or your negative habit, or, just something that is driving you currently that is unhealthy for you? Like, let's say you have a poor self-concept, where you say, nothing ever works out for me. Well, that's not true. Some things may have not worked out for you, but not everything has failed. So you can even write that. Keep it simple. Not everything in my life fails around me. And it changes the whole, like, oh yeah, not everything really does. Like, think of all the things that you have gotten through that you thought just a month or 2 months ago you wouldn't get through. Or years ago even, right? Like, but here you are. You're still here. So not everything fails around you. So you could change that verbiage. Instead of, nothing works out for me, you could say, not everything fails in my life. And obviously it's going to be different for everyone, but like, how can you reword that? Because that negative, or shall I say toxic, inner dialogue is not really yours. It's coming from old habits, belief systems, thoughts and programs people put in you, ideas, expectations. And so it's all just clustered in there with this need and this want to be successful in your life. And you want to be successful, and you want to show other people you're successful, and you want to be a walking, talking, living, breathing example of that success. But you should want that for yourself first. Your habits should not be to prove anything, to show people what a good person you are, to get a pat on the shoulder, of approval from other people. It should feel good in your soul to do. Because at the end of the day, the longest relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. And when you close that door to the world, when you come home from work or school or your travels or whatever, you're closing the door and opening space with yourself. Always. You are coming home to yourself. Make sure that when you come home to yourself, you love who you come home to. And you talk to them like someone you love. Redefine the way you speak to yourself. Redefine the way you live every day. Redefine your habits. Redefine your goals based on truth. Real, honest truth. Okay? I hope this found and fed you. I hope it makes sense. I want to keep it as brief as possible because I know I can go on and on and on. But I'd like to keep the conversation going if you would. So if you want to comment below with any thoughts or questions or anything like that you have, please go for it. I'm here. And be blessed, be well, and just know that choice is your superpower. You can choose differently right now. Bye for now.